Eek, a bug. Eek, a pistol. The poor policeman, we train them to reach for this, and bang, 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 without thinking almost, and then they do it, and wow, look out. Most of the old western towns had a sign outside the city limits: you're not permitted to carry a concealed weapon, a pistol. The answer to our problems, folks: make all long guns legal, all short guns illegal, including police. They don't want to carry these things, No. Aloha, Rollin Frost here, Kona astrologer. We're going to cover January 9th to 18th in the month that you may well label the gun and police month. We had a full moon opposing Pluto. You're smack in the middle of it. And of course, most of you won't have a problem with a policeman. It'll be with a bug. Anyway, let's go through this on the sky mirror day by day and see what it looks like. A footnote is Mercury goes retrograde on the 21st. It's a Wednesday and early in the morning. Now, Mercury retrograde is good for doing something that you already started. But if you're starting something new, especially that requires Mercury's help, who is the delivery guy and the messenger, the writer, carries things around. If you require his help, well, about half of them he's going to come back and do again, because he's retrograde after the 21st. He's got to go back there and do it again, see? So finish up the things that you started. Now, there are certain instances where a Mercury retrograde is great. It'll be that way for about 3 weeks after this. For instance, if you were a salesman and you wanted to go back to the store again, well, go on Mercury retrograde. Make all your calls, because there's a good chance at least half of them you'll go back to. But if you're going to go buy something that you can't take back, look out. This is not the time to do it. Make sure you can take it back. I pick up the phone and make phone calls, and I ring it once, I hang up quickly, punch redial, then I've called twice. If I'm going out to the store, I leave, I go out on the porch, I stop, I go back in and go shishi, and then I go leave again, and I've left twice. So I try to fool Mercury here by doing that. Well, here's your chart. Of course, what you're dealing with is this old Uranus squaring Pluto. And what happened was we have full moon over here, and it opposed Pluto and squared Uranus. So, you've had a lot of lunacy already. This stuff all started August, September, and then every 3 months you get a hit. A full moon hits this square. So right now, full moon's opposing Pluto. You're going to have an overreaction. The full moon is when your emotional mind becomes a little bit overreactive. Eek, a bug. Eek, a policeman. Eek, a pistol. Eek, a gun. Well, anyway, here you are, back on, probably most of you watching the show on the 8th. And the moon's in Virgo. And it's kind of depressing, because here you are, in the middle of the day, the moon squares Saturn, and it's cold and it's slow and you're broke. And at the end of the day, this is midnight, 1 a.m., the moon opposes Neptune, and we lost everything anyway. Lost my wallet? What? Well, the moon's in Virgo from here, and so that's Thursday morning, is the vibes kind of change and go into that. I'm frozen, it's confusion, and there's problems with liquids. Friday morning's not much better, but in the afternoon, here's a nice trine to Pluto. And, here's a time when your discovery, the Pluto, really, you mean the police don't want to carry those guns? Hell no, they don't. They got lots of stuff to do. It throws out their low back if you have to walk around with them. People didn't carry them in the Old West, It's all just baloney from your Neptune movies. The World War II generation. We used to laugh because the officers in the army were given these 45s. They're a heavy weapon. You know, heavy, put it on in a holster on your hip. Oh no, terrible. Anyway, there's a lot of weird truths about Pluto here. You know, going to lethal force. And you'll learn some of them on Friday. I like to see some police unions speak up and say, we don't really want those pistols. Anyway, dreaming, I guess. I'm still dreaming here on Saturday morning. The moon's still in Virgo. You know, it's trining the sun. Maybe we could get something done here. Maybe some radical evolution could happen. My inner father, you know, says, no, don't get your expectations too high here. Saturday, moon leaves Virgo about midnight, goes into Libra, which starts in the morning with a nice sextile to Saturn. Gee, we're kind of organized here. Everything's on time Sunday morning. But look out, the moon's in Libra. Yeah, and it's going to hit that full moon square at 12 degrees. And each one of these is a degree, you know. So here's 5, 10, 12. Well, you're talking about Sunday night, late, midnight time in Hawaii. There's the full moon point. Yeah. And you know, it seems like there's some talking and some peacemaking that's coming up here early, because here's nice trines to Mercury and to Venus. And maybe the kids will come out and put flowers in the gun barrels whenever it is. You got a little more love and a little more communication around to handle this. Eek a bug! It's Sunday night, it's Monday morning. Oh, horrors of horrors. Another guy caught the PTSD virus and killed everybody. It's a virus, folks. It's a virus. Anyway, Monday, moon's still in Libra. Starts a little bit slow because of all the hassle over the middle of the night. At least there'll be cat fights and stray bugs. And you're not feeling very well Monday night, because here late is a square to the sun. Can't get nothing done. What a wasted Monday, huh? Possibly. Tuesday, the moon's still in Libra till you get to the middle of the day. Then it shifts into Scorpio. Once it goes into Scorpio on the 13th, it gets more constructive. Here's a nice trine to Mars. And we're going to go out and do something. Get something done. Do some physical stuff. Put your hands on something to fix something Tuesday afternoon. You'll be happy with the results. Here early Wednesday morning, this is like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning Hawaii time on the 14th, there's a trine to Neptune. You could regain a little faith. Yeah, we all could use a little bit of that right now. Hey, it's just Pluto, folks. It's just a bug. It's just a pistol. Piss on it. That's Pluto too. Elimination. So, excuse my mirth, but sometimes you got to get above this. Your attitude is your free will, remember? Don't be the victim of the news. Anyway, here's a sextile to Pluto. Here we're handling it again, but the communication and the lovingness isn't there. Too bad Pluto's not getting any. Pluto himself isn't getting any love and communication. Nope. We overdo it a little bit here Wednesday night and Thursday morning, because there's a square to Jupiter and everybody's doing too much. Thursday you finally get your head on the 15th. The moon's still in Scorpio, and we got a sextile to the sun in Capricorn. So you can get pretty organized here on Thursday in the middle of the day. But don't get out and do the physical stuff late Thursday night, because here's the square to Neptune. It's Friday morning, the 16th. Square to Neptune, ugh. Square to Mars, ugh. Now this could be the religious fanatics are getting violent. This could be problems with liquid and gas fuels and fires. Mars is nearing Neptune, and Mars is a source of ignition, and Neptune is flammable liquids and gases. So your chances of having, those big spectacular fires are much heavier here tonight. Thursday night, and into Friday morning. And you know, you got to be careful handling any liquids. If you smell something, you know, go check it out. And don't light the fire before you find out what it is. Yes, Friday morning, the 16th. Friday evening, everything gets better. Here's a sextile to Uranus, or a trine to Uranus. The higher mind is out, sensibilities, common sense is ruling. Feels pretty good. Saturday morning, Venus and Mercury are in harmony. With Jupiter, oh, there's wise thoughts. People are talking real truth, and wisdom is coming out. Listen to the kids, listen to the young girls. You know, this is time for a little brotherhood and unity. Why don't we let those young kids vote? Yeah, and encourage those young girls to vote. Why don't we have a real democracy? Excuse me, my attitude is showing. Saturday feels good. Friday night feels good with the brotherhood and yeah. Remember December? We had a good full moon on Uranus and everybody was out in the streets marching around together. The brotherhood was amazing. All different races, different colors of people. I loved it. Wish I'd get out there with a sign. Anyway, Saturday is for real gentle communications of wisdoms and brotherhood, and you know, it feels good. Sunday continues right through till the middle of the day when there's a sextile to Neptune, and the priest-artist doctors have a chance. A little sensitivity is good, but look out, the moon went into Capricorn here early Sunday morning, cardinal signs, and if you've got any planets in the middle of cardinal signs, Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, Aries, you're going to have more eek a bug, eek a pistol than other people are. And there it is again. It's Sunday night, Monday morning, the 18th and the 19th, and the moon's going by Pluto. Now everybody's really unhappy with Pluto, with lethal force, you know, with bugs, with Ebola, with torture. You know, the Pluto subjects are so lengthy you can hardly list them. And so January is the month to be outraged about them. Your emotional self, your inner mother, you know, the mothers on the planet are outraged about all this crazy violence, and rightly so, huh? But think before you smash the bug. It might be a good bug for your garden Sunday night, Monday morning. That's the way it is. Oh, I hate the police month. No, feel sorry for the poor guys. It's January 2015. Well, who let the dogs out? Yes. Hey, these Pluto dogs that, you know, are dogging our country from the Pluto opposing Mercury in the chart. I think primarily the worst dog, I mean, it isn't the policeman who's forced to train in that pistol and carry it on his belt and he's scared all the time. No, it's the CIA. When you study history, they've gotten us into every war. Even the thing that just happened in Pakistan, well, the Pakistani army charged in there and killed a bunch of those people. And so they found out the army guys all had their kids in one school. They went back there and hit back. But what you saw in this country was the horror of it. You know, I can remember the communist scare. Before that, it was anarchists. Okay, now it's terrorists. Who let these dogs out? No, the big dog you got to watch out for. The really big one that causes you more suffering and more death and pain in the world than any of the rest of them. Yep, it's the CIA. Most people don't pay attention to history much, but I think you're about to be drummed up into another, what do they call them, false flags? Oh, the Lusitania sunk, let's go to war. Oh, he's got weapons of mass destruction, let's go to war. These are the dogs that need to be confined and put on a leash. What do they call them? Plutocrats? plutocrats in our banking system, plutocrats in our government, the Koch brothers. I mean, we're being used, and we're the ones that are suffering here for letting those dogs loose and do what they want. Come on, the more we know about this sudden panics and fearfulness, the easier it is to adjust your attitude, glide through it. So let's get technical. Okay, here's the way it looks in Kona. Here's the full moon at 14.5 on January 4th. Here's the sun at 14.5 degrees of Capricorn, Cancer. Uranus in Aries conjuncts the south node. You see that? These nodes are really important. A lot of the biggest disasters occur when there's lunations on the nodes. So this could be a time of very great, large catastrophe kind of stuff happening. Yes, because it's there on the nodes. And here's the north node down here giving out some nurturing, but this is the south node. And the south node is there with Uranus and says, look out, they're going to hack the internet or some, I don't know. Here's your power being out and stuff. Here's a bunch. Now, it's not focused on the Hawaiian Islands, thankfully. We had our time in December. I haven't found out what happened yet, because I'm clear back here on the 16th of December. And I'm not, if we hit the Christmas time and there isn't a disruption of power on Kauai and on West Oahu, well, it'll probably come up in January on this thing. They're commonly delayed a month or so, and this could put the power out. Uranus is electricity for a lot of people, yes, and just block the communications, and it seems to be because somebody did some Pluto kind of thing. The sun's on Pluto. Now this could be revolutionary mass death, eek, but people are really aghast at the whole thing. The moon is full. It's opposing Pluto and the sun. We don't want this. We're afraid of this. It's squaring Uranus. It comes up suddenly. Your TV blinks, and they just released the radium bomb over New York. Eek! Well, where is it? Where are we going to tend to see this panickiness come out in the world? Let's take a look at the map. Okay, here's a world map of the full moon, January 4th. There's usually 4 places where these things hit the angles of the chart. First we have over here in Africa, it's not the West Africa Ebola kind of stuff, but it's Pluto on the rising sign, people taking radical action. And and the south node is on the IC, and so this is hurtful to the homes of people. And Uranus is there, people are being evacuated. This actually goes up through Italy and into Scandinavia, this line. But Pluto in the rising sign says this is where people are taking action. Now the next place the thing hits the angle is over here. This is in a difficult area because there's lots of volcanoes, and volcanoes are Pluto. Yes. So here's the moon on the bottom of the chart. People at home are fearful. And it's running through this area remember where the big earthquake was that killed all the people with the big tsunami? Yes. Difficult place. So this is Uranus on the rising sign. We all feel alone. Pluto here is on the midheaven. This is a public happening. That's why this could be easily a volcanic eruption of some sort. And it would naturally isolate people a bit, and opposing and squaring Uranus, can't fly through there. Nope, too much stuff in the air. Well, the next place that this full moon and Uranus and Pluto and all this panicky stuff hits the angles is right here. Now here we are in Hawaii, and so this seems to be a miss. This is Uranus on the midheaven. It's up here in northern Alaska, way over in the west. You might get some earthquakes out here. Pluto Let's see, Pluto is, what are we, Pluto? Pluto's on the descendant, so we're not happy with volcanoes and power and control issues and stuff here. But at least our islands seem to be out of the way of this one. Where's the other one? The final one. Whoops, what's this? It's running right up through here. Here's the moon up on the top of the chart. Public people that are mildly lunatic. And here's Pluto at the bottom of the chart. Your home is in panickiness. And this is running up through the East Coast. It bears a little more investigation. Yeah, this is a sensitive area here. And look at this. Pluto on that's the dotted line is the Pluto here, and this is some sensitive area. What's this? New York. Pluto's running right through New York, close to Washington D.C. Wow. And Uranus is out here a little more, but the full moon is right there too. We got New York overreacting to something. Something's going on here. Let's investigate more closely. Okay, here is the chart in Washington, D.C. And you notice the moon's right up at the top of the chart. Now, we've got a rising sign of 8 degrees 40, and up on the midheaven, 9 degrees 50. So we got a 1 degree spread here is all. But most of our lunacy goes off at 14.5. Well, here's Uranus at 12.5. Still, that's 4 degrees off this angle, see? So it lessens it a little. Wait a minute, here's Pluto at 13. Gotta be a little careful here. If we're at 9 degrees and Uranus is at 12.5 and Pluto's at 13, these things have a little sloppiness in them, yeah? So we don't want to, cut these decisions too finally. Here's your Washington D.C. chart. Then I decided to check up on is it Langley, yeah, where the CIA headquarters is, and actually it's less sensitive. Well, it's not too much difference. 840 in Washington and 830 in Langley. Let's go further. Here is New York City. Wow, we're up to 11 degrees on the rising sign, and 1240 up here on the midheaven, which means Uranus here at 1239 is exactly squaring the midheaven. Now, I suppose this could be, that there's more outrageous policing problems and the people here are out in the street, they're out in public, and they're being overly rebellious, and the police are trying to protect property, and there's going to be tremendous reaction. It could really tie things up here in New York. And I'm hoping that's what this is, and it's enough to piss everybody off, but maybe not enough to cause a big mass panic, huh? That would throw us into some other stupid war. Kind of had enough of this. Eek, a bug. Eek, a communist. Eek, an anarchist, a bomber, a terrorist. These are just people, And the CIA gets somebody to go out there and bomb them and kill their children. And then when they come back at us, like ISIS, we freak out. We say, oh, look what he did. Look what he did. Remember when you were a kid? Mommy, he hit me first. Who's to say? Where's the evidence? Did he really have weapons of mass destruction? Was anybody at the CIA ever brought to task for these lies? No. Who let the dogs out? I can remember a more peaceful time. Even when you were happy to see a policeman, he was there to help. You didn't have that eek, a bug reaction. There were peaceful times in our country, but in the last 50 years, and since all these Republican administrations, the police look like the army. The jails are full. The drug war rolls on. There's a lot of people pumping the war drums and making a lot of money, and you're paying the bills, aren't you? Kind of sad. Moreover, there's other people on the earth that are losing. Yes. It isn't just you two-legged people, you two-legged beings. There's four-legged beings all over this earth, and they're being decimated because these Plutonians pump the war drums, suck up all the money. Who's going to fix the environment? Who's going to save these creatures? You know, are we just going to go to war and go right over the cliff with the CIA? Aren't there any calmer heads around? Aren't there any people around that really, you know, aren't going to buy all this stuff? Of course, a lot of them are in jail for smoking herb. But jail is sometimes a good place to organize. Pluto is also the people in jail, you know. Yeah, it's easy to say, oh, you're in for some panicky times, eek a bug, don't panic. But when it hits in your location, and if it's hitting your chart, you will panic. The question is, ask yourself what you're panicking over. What are you protecting? What is it, a real thing, or is it just a little roach bug, huh? It's hard to see through these things when your reptile mind is in a state of panic. And that's where the world's at for January, with the full moon opposing Pluto. We're all in the grip of our reptile mind, the little bulb in the brainstem, you know, and a lot of those in the young people's area got PTSD. They got a virus in that area, which is a horror. And they do horrible things. But we don't know why. Nobody seems to recognize it's a virus. Your medical systems failed you. Your justice systems failed you. Your pharmaceutical industry uses you. Yeah, throw the pot smokers in jail and pump the drugs into people. The amount of drugs you see on your TV are amazing. Ask your doctor. Every week there's a new name somebody just picked out of the blue. What's going on? What's going on? Reminds me of the Marvin Gaye song, huh? Look around. What's going on? Well, if you just calm yourself a little bit, you know, you'll come out of that panic kind of easily, so long as you don't start running. That's when policemen shoot at you, is when you start running. The dogs will chase you if you run, no matter what, huh? That's the way dogs are. Yeah, there are times to run, and there are other times when you just crouch down, cuddle up, protect your neck and your head. Okay, and especially in New York. Later you'll look back on January and say, why did we all panic? What happened? Come back next week. Aloha.